games of the University of Michigan, his alma mater and mine, Pro Football Hall of Famer Dan Dierdorf joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show from Utah. How are you, Dan?
Rich, I'm well. How are you doing?
What a pleasure to have you on this program. And I just want to start right off the bat. Can you still believe Jim Harbaugh took this job, Dan?
No, I didn't think he would. Well, first of all, I didn't count on the 49ers mishandling it as badly as they did. So, let's put it: if this was a hockey game, they would get the assist. No question about that. It really they made it easy, and the university aggressively went after Jim, and he's just been the perfect hire.
So
I know he hasn't won a game yet. They haven't even played a game. I don't care. It doesn't make any difference. He was the right guy at the right time.
Well, you're one of the original Bo's boys, Dan. Does he remind you at all of Bo in a way?
Well, he'll tell you that Bo Schembechler. He'll tell you that his dad was the biggest influence in his life. He's the son of a career coach, but no, his life was hugely impacted by Bo Schembechler. He was a kid with his brother John running around the practice facility while Bo was conducting practice. It's just Bo Schembechler. His DNA is intertwined with Jim Harbaugh's, and there are a lot of similarities.
Dan Dierdorf joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show, part of the Michigan Radio Network. Call of the game tonight, Michigan at Utah. Who's starting at quarterback, Dan? What do you think? Can you give me an idea?
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, I haven't been told this, so I don't know. I'm assuming Jake Rudock will start. I think that here you are on the road in a very hostile environment. He's got 2 years of starting experience at Iowa. He would be, in my mind, the safe bet. A guy more capable of handling a wild environment, because it's only a 45,000 seat stadium here, but this is a big game for the Utes out here. This town is upside down with excitement.
Well, with Rudock, if he does go, because obviously Shane Morris and his production, I guess is one way to put it, or his development is one of the things that definitely led to Brady Hoke's downfall. There's no other way to put it. I'm not pegging it on just one guy, but the quarterback play and the fact that there was nobody to turn to after Devin Gardner wasn't performing or taking care of the football as much as he should have. Everyone was expecting Morris to potentially be the quarterback. Has he shown any signs of improvement with Jim Harbaugh there?
Yes, he has shown. I think Shane Morris has grown up a great deal. I don't think, Rich, that's what he wanted for a legacy, was a guy who couldn't beat out Devin Gardner. That's not a great thing. And no, I don't want to be cruel to Devin Gardner, but the quarterback play at Michigan last year was abysmal, and Shane Morris couldn't unseat him. And he'll be the first to tell you that he has grown up. He has applied himself. He realizes that when Jake Rudock came in here, that he wasn't going to be handed anything. But Shane Morris has skills that the other guys don't have, Rich. When you watch a Michigan practice, he's the guy. He has an NFL caliber arm. He's a left-hander, and when he throws the ball, it leaves a vapor trail. So we're going to find. I wouldn't be surprised maybe if both of them got a little action tonight. But hey, let's be realistic. Trying to get information out of Jim Harbaugh, I'm used to trying to get it out of Bill Belichick, and this is the equal challenge.
I'm on the phone with Dan Dierdorf in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, not only as a player, but a Pete Rose Radio and Television Award winner from his time in the booth on Monday Night Football, joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show. So I ask you the question I get asked all the time, Dan, is what expectation level should we Michigan alums have of the first Jim Harbaugh era game and season?
Yeah, and you're right. That is the big question. And everyone wants to compare it to when Bo Schembechler came to Ann Arbor. They're saying, well, look what he did his first year. You upset Ohio State. Well, Bo Schembechler inherited a football team that had 4 college football Hall of Famers on it. It had multiple All-American players. It had 30-some NFL draft choices. Jim Harbaugh did not inherit that team. And so I think I think Michigan fans are smart enough to realize that. What they want, Rich, what we all want, we want to watch a team that doesn't implode, doesn't make it easy for the other team to win by turning the ball over at a ridiculous rate, and compete for 60 minutes. And I don't have any question that that's what we're going to see. Are we going to run the table? No, I don't think that's a realistic expectation. But are we going to look vastly different than the team we saw a year ago? I don't think there's any doubt about that.
So, Dan Dierdorf joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show. What do you think happens tonight?
Well, we're 6-point underdogs, and this will – but again, I think Michigan is good enough defensively to hang in to most games, and I think Jim Harbaugh knows what he has offensively. And I'll say this, for a former quarterback, he coaches a football team like a linebacker. And I think we're going to line up and go 3 tight ends and bunch formations and just try to hammer the football, shorten the game, and not put our defense in a compromising position. Hey, justifiably, we're the underdog. They handled us last year in Ann Arbor, but we also turned the ball over 4 times. If we don't turn the ball over tonight, watch out.
Mm-hmm. And I would be remiss if I let you go without asking you about Frank Gifford, with whom you spent so many years in the Monday Night Football booth, who passed away a couple of weeks ago on the night of the Hall of Fame game, as a matter of fact, in your native Canton.
Yes.
So what are your recollections of Frank, Dan?
What a gentleman he was. I never, and you'll know what I mean when I say this. I stood next to Frank in the Monday Night booth for 11 years. I did the show for 12, but 11 of them were with Frank and Al. In 11 years, I never saw Frank Gifford go Frank Gifford on anybody. He was a legitimate star. He was an A-lister in New York, and as you know, if you're an A-lister in New York, you are there. This man was a star in every sense of the word, and you would have thought that he was the guy that drove the truck to the game. He had a humility, an approachability. He would ask you how you're doing, and he would look you in the eye when he would say it, and you knew that wasn't a throwaway line, that he really meant it. Frank Gifford was one of the finest people I ever had the privilege to know. He was a good man.
Yeah, Al called him the coolest guy in the room, is what he referred to.
He always was, and he always had this self-deprecating sense of humor. He one time he went to 21, and he didn't get his customary table, which was, I guess, right in the center of the room. He was off to the side somewhere, and Frank was telling us about it. He goes, "Boy, I remember when I used to be me." And he could laugh about stuff like that because he knew in the grand scheme of things that really wasn't all that important.
And what'd you think about one of the most famous Michigan alums getting no games from Judge Berman today in the Deflategate ruling? What do you think of the Brady latest, Dan?
I know you're tired of talking about it. We're all tired of talking about it.
No.
But, the collective bargaining agreement clearly states what Roger Goodell can and can't do. And now this judge has basically overridden the collective bargaining agreement in saying, that Tom's able to play. It's just, it's going to be, the lawyers are going to have a ball with this. Maybe the league overreached. A 4-game suspension for some air missing in some footballs, when that's the same suspension you get for performance-enhancing drugs and things like that. I think that's part of the problem. That I think maybe they swung too big a stick at Tom Brady. And
you enjoying calling Michigan games, Dan? You enjoying?
I wasn't going to do anything, Rich. I retired. Yep. I was more than happy to do nothing. And then Dave Brandon, who was the AD at the time, he really strong-armed me, and it was the best decision I ever made. Doing radio is so relaxing. I'm with the team. It's you get a chance to be around the kids. I'm having a ball, and I had a lot of fun last year. And they only won 5 games. If we actually are pretty good, And it's going to be fun these next couple of years watching Jim Harbaugh turn this program.
And they're talking him and Urban as a reboot of the 10-year war you were part of for a couple of years, Dan.
Right. And that's a possibility because Harbaugh, he can recruit, and he's a rock star. And let's face it, now Michigan's going with Nike next year, and that's a big thing that recruits love. And he's going to have star-studded classes coming in with kids from all around the country. And you and I both know that's the key. That's how you win. You've got better players than the other guy, and I think he's. It's going to be fun to watch. There's not a doubt in my mind.
I'm so amped,
he's
Dan.
going to get Michigan back.
Dan, I am so amped. I can't tell you. I'm jumping out of my skin.
I know. And Rich, here's where I am on tonight.
Sure.
If we get beat tonight, 27-3, it's not going to diminish my enthusiasm in any shape, manner, or form. This is a marathon, not a sprint, and I don't think we can draw. I don't think we should jump to any major conclusions after tonight. I just want to see a football team that plays smart, aggressive, hard-nosed, disciplined football.
Yeah.
We haven't seen that in Ann Arbor in a long time.
I'm writing that down if we lose 27-3 tonight to feel that way, and I will read this after I finish crying. Okay, Dan?
Yeah,
no,
I know. But trust me, there'll be little teardrops dropping on my spotting boards too. So I'm sure as heck hoping that's not what happens. But I don't want people's expectations to be over the moon.
Dan, thanks for calling in. Let's stay in touch throughout the season. I'd love it.
Yeah, Rich, I love it.
Thank you.
We Michigan guys got to stick together.
Go Blue, Dan.
Go Blue is right, Rich.
Okay,
Thanks.
you got it. There's Dan Dierdorf, Pro Football Hall of Famer.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern. On Audience.